Hey guys, and welcome back to Steel and Wheels. We're gonna keep working on the ute today, see what we can't get done. I've been getting pretty sick lately, and with COVID and whatnot, I gotta stay home and all that sort of jazz. So things have just been harder lately because of COVID, but we're getting there. Also, another thing for you guys is I'm looking at going maybe every 2 weeks instead of every week. We'll see how that goes. Every now and then you might get a double up, 2 weeks in a row or something. Then you might get one, not get one for a fortnight. We'll just see how it all pans out. If there's enough interest in going back to every week, then I'll do my best to try and push for that. Anyways, for this episode, we're gonna keep working on the ute, like I said, and we're gonna attack the brakes. So what do we wanna do to disconnect the brakes? Well, the best way I think to disconnect the brakes would be straight from the master cylinder, which is that one there, if people are not sure. Now the easiest way to do this is to trace your lines back, which way you want to go, which one's for the rears and which one's for the fronts. So if you look, this one here travels down here and it goes into the chassis rail, into the body of the car just there, and so that's for a front brake. Then you got these two up here, so you want to follow them across. They go across the back of the car, back of the firewall, and they cruise down here. All right. Now, if you can't see it, I know, but if you look in there, you can see this one's moving. It goes to the back of the car. This one here. So you follow that one, which is this one here, underneath one, back. So that one there is for the rears. So what we'll do is we'll just chop this line off, basically right here, and crimp the line up, and then basically leave it in there and won't have a problem. Another trick I have seen done before is you pull this out and get a rivet that fits inside it the right size, jam a rivet up the end of the line, crimp it off, like shoot your rivet off, and stick your line back in, and it'll pull up tight, won't leak, cause no pressure to the back lines, which means we can disconnect the calipers. All right, so we'll chop this off and we'll start disconnecting all the brakes. All right, guys. Now, just for good practice, I'll show you the spanner. It's designed to basically be like a ring spanner for stuff like this, because these are always seized and stuff. So it gives you a better purchase on brake lines or hydraulic lines or anything similar to that. Now, if you don't want your paint to go missing, it is a good idea to put a rag on it, because brake fluid's highly corrosive and will wreck fucking everything. Alright, there's your brake line that we need to crimp off, and then we're good. Alright, so you want to close this up. Alright, nice and flat. And then we want to like peel it over itself. So you can either use something to make it happen, or if you've got a vise, this would be easier. One roll, we roll it once more. All right, there's a pretty low chance of this leaking with how crimped that is. And so I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just give it a couple more smacks to be sure, then we'll stick it back in the car. Alright guys, while we're up the front, we may as well start rectifying some of the stuff so we can just put the front back on even though we don't have the belt. So, because I cut that cooler line at the front for the power steering, we need to basically reconnect the power steering to each other. So, this line here is basically to that, and this one here ran straight to the thing. So all we have to do is connect this pipe here back to this pipe. We'll probably just disconnect that there, disconnect this here, and run this pipe straight to this one. And effectively all it'll do is delete the power steering cooler, which I don't feel is necessary for what we're using it for. Alright, one power steering setup. That's good to go. Alright, a couple other things I've realised was we somehow managed to put this line, like the wires, underneath this. It needs to be over because it's supposed to run on the front, so we'll just disconnect the water line. Alright, that's all the water lines and stuff plumbed up. Still waiting on that belt, of course. Starting to get on my nerves now. Well, we might try and stick this bumper on here, eh? Alright, now first step to putting this front bar on, we're gonna mark out where we need to cut out of the corners because it doesn't like sit inwards. The bumper touches just here, so we've got to remove some material from here, just let the bumper stick out just a smidgen. I'm thinking is to just get a Nico and just mark around it and start cutting piece by piece until we get it right. Alright, so it'll sit like that. Pull into there. Be fine. I think we need to take a little bit more out of the bottom to lift it up. I think it'll be ready to roll. Alright, that fits on there pretty good now. Alright, we're going to try and mount this bumper somehow. Haven't decided yet, most likely the zip ties, you can see there's a pile on the ground right there. But yeah, I might do crisscross like a drift effect. You know, they do the crisscross the zip ties, make it look cool and whatever. We might do that, but start, we'll just get it on there so we can sort of mess around with it a bit. Alright, so depending how proper you want to be with it all, you can disconnect all your brake lines from here and all the way underneath the body and pull them all out of the car, but we don't care that much here. So what I'm probably going to do is bash this hard up against the chassis, up against the diff, sorry, just so it's closed. Do the same on that one, and then I'm just going to chop them off and then disconnect it all from in here. Take the caliper off the car. I will put the rotor back on it, just because I'm too lazy to check spacings for the wheel. Also my wheel nuts are solids, so they have an end cap. They're not, so they're blind, they're not straight through. So while they probably will still fit, I'm just gonna put the rotor back on. It's just as easy, and then that's it. We'll fill it up with some oil. I know I didn't fill it up last episode and I got pounded for it in the comments, but we'll put some in it this time, and then it'll make a little bit more sense. Alright, I'll grab some stuff and we'll get it done. Alright guys, fill it up with some oil. Now I'm sure someone's gonna have a fight with me over this, but I've always done it till it drips out of the hole. That's what you're looking for level wise. I don't really have funnel or anything to fill this up with. I was hoping this was gonna work, but it looks way too small, the hole, and this looks way too big for it. But we'll see if we can't just like scrunch it up and get her in there. It's in there now, just see if we can't fill it up. If you look carefully, you can see the oil starting to seep out underneath the funnel. The diff's full, and that's it. Alright guys, we'll finish off the rear of the car. Just gonna put the wheels back on, put some air in them, and then that's it. Alright, now you probably don't need to put these on. I'm doing it because I've blind wheel nuts, so we'll put them back on there for spacing reasons, but you don't really need them. Also, that screw doesn't do all that much, except for hold this from grabbing onto your studs and stuff, but we've got no rear brakes or anything anyway, so we're not putting that back on either. Alright guys, so the ute's all but done at the moment. We'll do a light bar and stuff later on, like requested in the comments. Now the serpentine belt, I've sorted the issue. We're just waiting on delivery for the serpentine belt, so we still don't have one. A bit disappointing. I was hoping to sort of have that and wrap this up this week, but we'll just throw it in with a light bar video or something like that. It also means we can't put water in it, which means it'll run hot. But for the sake of this bit, we're gonna do like a mini burnout in it with no water in it, make sure the locker works, whatnot, and see how we go. I don't even know if the brakes work because I haven't re-bled them or anything, but we'll just try our luck and yeah, that'll be it. Alright guys, so that'll finish up this episode of the ute. The locker's done, the drives. We're gonna get a different battery for it so it actually fits in its location a little bit better. Serpentine belt should be here, hopefully Tuesday, something like that. So that'll be good to finally finish that off. So yeah, cheers for sticking around guys. We'll see you on the next episode. I'm not really sure where we're going to go with this. We might jump back to the YZ we got in the shed and do some more work on that. And hopefully soon we'll be getting into building some more stuff for the shed. Some big gear, that'll be good. Alright guys, remember to add me on Instagram at steelandwheels.yt, and I'll catch you next time.